Boom. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What's up?
Roll the intro, baby. Are you ready with it?
What? You're supposed to roll it. Every time. Am I supposed to be driving that too?
Sorry,
Yeah.
I wasn't ready.
It's okay. Roll it. Two guys from two worlds. This is The Flip Side. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now, your hosts, Jay and Noel. Good morning,
Yeah.
good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to The Flip Side.
Yeah.
What?
I remember when I was at the radio station before, and I hate bringing up that I was a DJ before and that kind of thing, but that's like my only like life reference. Anyway, there used to be times before that, so the previous DJ would like finish his set or his songs, right? And then we
Right.
should be like ready at the top of the hour, and then they'd play the top of the hour, like this is radio blah 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 blah, and then like you're ready to push on your first song,
Right.
and then all those songs are your choices within sort of the playlist that they have prepared for you at the on at the radio station. Anyway, there was a lot of times that and this is probably ADHD or what, I don't know, but I'd get on that top of the hour, right? And I'd be like, hey, this is DJ blah 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 blah, and here we go with our first song, and I'd press play
Right.
and there'd be nothing on. I'd be like, what's going on with me?
I keep forgetting that you actually were a DJ at one point.
It's like I'm like rock and roll, ready to go, like just exactly. It's like a traumatic experience. Here I am, ready to go. We're on live. I'm ready to press the button, and then there's nothing there. It's like you get thrown out of the airplane in like war, right? You jump out, you got the parachute on. I'm lucky if I even have a parachute behind me.
Right.
I land on the ground and I start shooting, and there are no bullets on the gun. It's like but. It's like,
Or a giant bubble.
or as my mom would say it, buti na lang hindi mo nakalimutan yung brief mo.
Oh, come on.
Do you have any like relatable fatherly or manly experiences like that? Like you get on the ground, boots running, ready to go, and then you're like, I got my pants off.
Well, when I was in high school, actually, we were doing that one play. I think it was my very first play that I did. It's called Working.
El
So I had
Camino?
like, what?
Where at?
In El Camino, yeah, in El Camino.
El
San
Camino.
Francisco. Yeah. So I had like one little dialogue or monologue, and I completely froze. This was opening night, right? I completely froze for like 15 seconds and 15 seconds. 10, 15 seconds is a long time if you're on stage. You know what I mean? So I'm just standing there like sweating profusely like crazy. And luckily, Dan, who I was in the same scene with,
Sasuke?
yeah, bailed me out. And then
Like-
that was it.
like-
No, not Dan. I'm sorry, Peter. Peter was in the
Kelsey?
same scene. Yes. Yeah.
Like saved your ass? Like
Saved my ass.
they knew your lines for you? They said your lines? How did they save you?
Well, he like ad-libbed something that basically reminded me of my monologue, a small one. And because we were supposedly in a register and I'm supposed to veer off to the center of the stage and give like a small little monologue. I can't remember what it was about. But that was embarrassing. Although, that was a good experience, I have to admit. It was pretty fun.
Bro, I had like one line in the entire play. The first
Right.
time that I was on stage, I had like one line, and I remember like I was supposed to be the only guy that knew how to read, like in the entire village.
Mm.
Are you familiar with this play, Fiddler on the Roof?
Fiddler on the Roof, yeah.
Yeah, I was the only guy that knew
If
how to
I
read.
were rich men. La, 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 la.
So there was like this matchmaker lady that was coming over to the village, and then there's supposed to be some kind of news that I guess Russians were taking over or something like that. But anyway, I was supposed to be the guy that was supposed to pop on stage and let everybody know what the news was.
Mm.
And
Was this in Elko?
yeah, and I forget Philip. I forget the name of the character, but the main
Yeah,
actor was like
yeah.
Philip, right? And he's like, "Gee, I wonder what the news is for today." And then everybody's all like looking at backstage, and I was like, "Oh, is that me? Oh, dang it!" Yeah. So that was like 15 minutes of awkward silence, also because I didn't pop out and say, "Hey, everybody, here's the
Jesus.
news for today."
And nobody remembered their lines, probably.
Because I was just so absent-minded, lost in like in the whole like, wow, we're in a play and I have like one line, and then it was my turn to say it, and then
Right.
I wasn't there. So story of my life, really.
Yeah. Yeah. We've all had that kind of experience and whatnot, one way or the other,
So how was your week?
Week was kind of crazy. Here at the household, it's a little bit on and off right now, to be honest with you. This week started off pretty crappy because everybody's sick. Everybody is getting sick. It's
Oh.
annoying.
Wait, not that I'm not interested about what's happening to the rest of your family, but I remember from the previous from the previous episode, we ran out of time to talk about certain stuff. I thought I just mentioned this just to acknowledge that it's still there.
Yeah.
Whether we talk about it or not, Singles Inferno 3, which I don't think we should talk about because Tin is not awake yet. And I think that's about it for my list. And we talked about Kathleen Bernardo and
We talked
And-
about that.
yeah, we talked about that, or
Bernardo and Daniel
Right.
Pidel, whatever his name is.
Padilla.
Padilla.
So anyway, those are the pending items on my list.
Right.
Aside from that, I got the Cybertruck and Mang Taho vendor. That's on my
Nice.
list here. If you want to talk
Mang
about that,
Taho.
yeah.
Yeah, well, a couple of things I left off in the last episode was pickleball.
Ah,
Yeah, that was an experience that I want to talk about a little bit. Also, Filipino Christmas party that we attended over the weekend, which was quite interesting, to be honest with you.
another one.
Yeah. And then want to touch on the same conversation that we had a little bit or a couple episodes ago, just a little bit, that has kind of gained traction in YouTube a little bit. I
Right.
said a little
I think
bit way too many times here, didn't I?
I think we should do that. I know it's pressing, but okay. Let me put on my hat, my friendly hat. Everybody okay in the family?
Everybody's good. They're still under the weather. I
Mm.
myself am starting to feel a little bit of itchiness in my throat and on my chest because everybody's congested, catching the flu and whatnot. Well, when I say everybody,
Mm.
last week it was my son. It started with him. I caught it. Arya caught it, but now it's mom and Malaya that has it. I mean, they've been out of commission for like 2 days.
I can hear the little one singing in the background.
Ugh, she drive me crazy today. It's not even funny. I mean,
Not that it's annoying, not that it's distracting, but it's there. It's like an earworm. That's
I
like,
know. I'm sorry. Even if I try to shut off the background noise, I can't because she's just too loud.
hi.
I don't
Okay.
even have any other speakers on or whatnot.
I know you want to talk about whether the Philippines is a third world country or not. We could argue about that. I did some research about it also yesterday. But
Right.
can I just spitball some like really fast bullet points here just to
Yep.
get these out of the way?
Let's go.
I found out that last week, actually, I failed to talk about this on the previous episode. The Cybertruck now has 2 million reservations.
For which Cybertruck?
I don't know which one. I think the most
Is it
popular one is
Tesla?
like the version 2. Yeah. Is there any other Cybertruck aside from the Tesla one?
Not that I know of.
Yeah. So that one, I just wanted to get that one out of the way. The fact that like people are willing to wait like 6 months, maybe a year
For Tesla.
for their Cybertruck. Yeah.
Right. See, it's funny that you bring that up. Um,
So
as
so,
of
so
to, Yeah, go ahead,
So,
go ahead.
sorry. So bottom line of what that means is that patience of the people willing to wait. What that bottom line of what that means is that Elon Musk is not going to go bankrupt anytime soon. I mean, his rockets going to Mars and everything like that.
Right.
All that's covered for the next couple of years, I guess.
Who's
With
saying
that
that
kind
he's
of
gonna go bankrupt? There's no way the dude's gonna go bankrupt.
no, because before there was this gamble or fear that the whole thing's going to flop because they're going to be running out of money, that kind of thing. But now at least it's a little bit of insurance for the next couple of years is what I mean. I mean, with that kind of amount of reservations for the Cybertruck.
Right. Yeah, I don't buy it. I don't buy it.
What
There's
do you mean
no
you
way in
don't?
hell he's gonna go bankrupt.
Yeah. No. But the whole idea lang is that before, when he didn't have that assurance, everything was sort of all still like, is it going to succeed? The rockets, are they going to succeed? Are the cars going to succeed?
Yeah.
So now it's sort of a, they're, it's insurance for the next couple of years for
Yeah,
all the other
yeah.
projects that he's got working on.
Right.
That one and this one's another thing. I guess we could share it on the screen if we have time, but there was just this headline that I wanted to share with you. Isang
Hold on.
tatay na.
Hold on. Let me touch base real quick. Speaking of the Cyber Tesla,
Oh.
I don't know if people are aware. There's about over 2 million recalls on the Tesla vehicles for
Oops.
2023 because there's like an issue with the autopilot to begin with.
Yikes.
So and apparently a lot of the electrical issues is going on, like popping up. So be careful right now out there. Try not to use the autopilot if you don't have to, please. Oh, and also shout out to Fiel in the Philippines. Thank you again for watching. Anyway,
Hi. Wow. Yeah, that reminds me. There was a video that I saw where I think it was a Ford, but one of these electric cars that all of a sudden just stopped, like in the middle of the freeway.
yeah,
So the dash cam was at the back, and then this car just all of a sudden just stopped. The car that was in front all of a sudden just stopped, which I guess is fine because something to do with the automatic pilot or whatever. But the one that worries me is that this car, whether it's the automatic pilot or not, stopped without brake lights.
what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. That's the one that caused the pileup.
Yeah.
That,
So that's
yeah,
that's
there was a
wor-
pretty big pileup, and because of that, everybody is like all of a sudden slamming on it and whatnot. It's
yeah,
like,
that's worrying. That's worrying. I mean, I can understand malfunctions, but
Right.
if you have a malfunction and then you don't have signals to let other other drivers know that you're stopping, that's
right.
I think quite a big deal.
Yeah, well, lives could be lost. So, anyway, go ahead. You were saying.
Isang tatay na taho vendor namigay ng libreng taho, gave away free taho matapos makapasa ang kanyang anak sa 2023 licensure examination for teachers.
Oh,
So
wow.
because his daughter passed the 2023 licensure examination for teachers, he was so happy. This taho vendor,
Mhm.
he takes his kid to school. I mean, he's able to afford his kids to go to, or his kid to go to school, college 2023 licensure examination because of his pagtataho. And now he decided to give away taho, I guess, for the day because he's so happy.
That's kind of awesome, though. I mean, if you think about it, this guy put his kid through college and everything selling taho. I mean, he's probably doing that twice a day for God knows how many years just to be able to do that. And you know what? If I was in his position, heck yeah, I'd celebrate that way too. That's awesome. That's an accomplishment like crazy.
Imagine that feeling.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got to be really proud, though. I mean, I would be too.
Did you get to see any of the Singles Inferno episodes?
No, not yet. Not yet. I'm still stuck at this stupid Love is Blind thing. I'm on season 5. It's it's getting annoying because everybody's
Two grown men watching Netflix reality romance shows.
it's insane. Hold on, have you seen the 3rd season yet of Singles Inferno? Have you started?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
no. I don't want to talk about it because it's gonna be spoiler alert. You know what? I just finished season 2 like a week ago, so you know I'm
Wait,
taking a
season
break from
two
that.
of Love Is Blind.
No, Singles
Oh,
Inferno, Love and Blind. I'm on season 5 now, the
anything
last
interesting
season.
happening on Love Is Blind?
It's pissing me off. Everybody seems to be got like their own priorities all over the place, and it seems like some people you could tell they're just using it as a platform to get popular, to get followers. It's driving me crazy, and
Mm.
plus the stuff that they argue about and
Mm.
they call a deal breaker in their relationship, it's so childish. It's pissing
But
me off.
doesn't that make you just want to turn it off and watch Singles Inferno instead?
No, because I want to find out which one's a bigger idiot.
Listen, I don't want to give any spoilers or anything like that, or I don't want to sell it too much, but I'm
Right.
watching Singles Inferno because I'm looking for something like a reason to like hate it. Because like remember the last time that I told you when I watched the first season or second season, I was like, one season is enough for me. It's like I know what's going
Right.
to happen on the next season.
Right.
So I gave like this one a couple of minutes, and like next thing you know, I'm like, what?
Hold on. Are you talking about the third season?
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I'm like really actively, seriously looking for every like little nook and cranny to actually hate it
right. It's
and to
hard.
like to want to look at something else.
Right. Well, it's hard though because the way they lay out these TV shows or reality shows in Asia, like in Japan or Korea,
I gotta give it to the Koreans. They know what
it,
they're doing.
they know what they're doing. I mean, they suck you in like there's no tomorrow. You know what I mean?
They know
Next thing, you're
exactly
crying.
exactly where to like to
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, yeah.
So that's as much as I'll say about that. But kakainis eh. Kakainis. It's like, like I'm so skeptical. Like season 3, like
Right,
yeah,
right.
right. But I'm
And
like picking my jaw off the floor. Like what?
right.
What? So, I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm Asian or I'm curious about someone Filipino like yourself that's grown up in the U.S. for such a long
Mhm,
time. I'm
mhm.
kind of wondering what your take on it will be, and I'm wondering if I'm falling for it because I'm Asianized versus you're Westernized.
Well, see, the Korean that kind of entertainment value is actually mixed with Philippine culture already.
Yeah,
Like Korean TV and Japanese TV, it's all blended into like Philippine entertainment already.
yeah,
And
and listen, this is probably going to segue into the first world, third world thing that we want to talk about.
right,
Whether the Philippines is a first world or third world country. But that's the thing that I'm while I'm watching it. Na parang am I watching this or am I into it because I'm Asian and I'm just automatically, part of that part of the world and that's automatically why I enjoy it? Or am I watching it because there's something about like the human psychology worldwide that
I
it's
I think it's because you're blended into it though. As Filipinos are so in love with the idea of love, romance. I mean, you can't tell me that they're not. Filipinos are every Filipino movie, or if not every other Filipino movie there out there, it's all about romantic comedies or drama. And you have to
I'm
admit,
say no
the
more.
yeah, the whole idea of love is such a it it's something that rolls in Filipino blood, basically.
Not even gonna comment. I'm not gonna comment on that until you even watch like, just one episode. Actually, 15 minutes if you want.
Okay, as soon as we get done here, I'm gonna flick one on, watch 15 minutes. No, I'm gonna give it one whole episode 1. You know what I mean? Of season 3 of Singles Inferno. For those of you guys that don't know, Singles Inferno is like a Korean um romance.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it's got subtitles, but they dubbed it in English, so you're not gonna have a hard time watching it.
no, they didn't dub. I don't. They don't dub it in English.
Well, they did here. I'm
Oh,
watching it in
maybe you
English.
guys. Yeah, yeah. No, I don't watch it with the dubbed English. I don't like doing that. I'd much rather read subtitles because
Oh, okay.
it sounds ridiculous to me. If you're like,
I got it.
somebody
I got
speaking in a different dialect, and then all of a sudden you got John Wayne like, yeah,
right, right,
that's
right.
how I. No,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
want
No, I get you. I get you. But me, I'm just sometimes too lazy to
to
read.
read.
Yeah. So and no, no, no. But you know what I do when when it is something interesting, and then it's like what? Like or if I'm blown away with whatever the person said, I'll rewind it and then watch it in Korean because I already know the context. But I want to
Yeah.
just see how he or she said it. You know, the tone of voice.
But
So
watching it in the dialect or language that they're actually meant to be, it projects the proper emotion of what they're talking about.
yun nga, that's why I watch it a second time around. So
You're just wasting time that way.
no, I watch it dubbed in English just because
Right.
I'm lazy. Because I'm lazy. But if it catches my attention and I want to get the real context of it
Right.
and the tone and everything, I'll watch it a second time around just to get the feel of how they said it.
This is a little bit off topic, but I'm one of those guys. Like when I watch Netflix with my wife,
Mm,
she likes to have the subtitles on, even though it's in English already, and it pisses
right.
me off. Because I can't concentrate on watching sometimes
Uh,
because
yeah,
like
it's
the TV shows
distracting.
in English, but my eye is still following the subtitles, even though
But
like
yeah,
understand
right. But you just said that you like to watch things in with subtitles on.
it's different if it's in a different language already. Do you see what I'm saying here?
Oh, you're watching it in English and it's got captions or subtitles on.
Correct. I hate that. She turns the captions on. It's already in English, and I'm still following the freaking words like there's a ball bouncing from one word to the other. You know?
Ako sometimes Tin here watches Tagalog movies and I like to have the subtitles on.
Why? You
Pero
already
Tagalog
understand
na yun.
it.
Yeah, naiintindihan ko siya but I'm curious how they would translate it in English.
That's too much work to watch. Now it's it's like you're not concentrating on watching. You're literally breaking
I
things down.
I feel like I'm trying to get the most of my money, like every centavo counts.
You
Make
know,
the most of that Netflix subscription, right?
every time you see every centavo, it still weirded me out. I'm so used to like
Every penny.
cents. There you go. Every penny. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for the charger for my laptop because yesterday I was sitting around at the coffee shop, like researching whether the Philippines is a third world country or a first world country, and the laptop's about to die. And I don't want to get into this debate or this argument, this conversation with the laptop saying low battery, charge your battery now. So
Well,
I'm looking for the charger.
okay. So here's what's going on. Okay. We posted a short in in our YouTube page about 24 hours ago.
Oh, was it only 24 hours ago?
Yeah, it's maybe 2 days.
Oh,
No, maybe
wow.
48. I apologize. I'm not.
No, no, no.
I'm not sure.
It's probably like this in my head. We recorded the episode about a week ago,
Hmm.
but the short only came out yesterday. You mean
Correct.
that's why it
Yeah.
sounds like what we already did that a couple of weeks ago. Yeah.
No, it was published on actually 2 days ago, December 18th at night.
Okay.
So initially about 36 hours ago. Anyway, I'm going to show or share this clip of the short that for some reason is it's catching some traction and people are actually commenting about it, and it's gotten me to think. Basically, it's basically talking about, well, take a look at it real quick.
Okay. Tell me that's interesting. More interesting than your heater problem. Tell me about it.
They still think that the Philippines is a third world country.
Mm,
They're thinking,
mm.
besides the fact that the food is not as good or popular and whatnot, they are just completely clueless about the Philippines. One person saying it's okay. So that was that was the initial video that came out. Okay.
Which, by the way, I feel like encapsulates what this whole podcast is really supposed to be about
What-
somehow.
What do you
Like
mean?
on a like we started this. We called it the flip side because we're kind of comparing the Philippines to the U.S.
Right.
And then we kind of started with, where this topic started, where I kind of commented, like, between you and me, you were asking me my experience here in the Philippines, and I said
Right.
something like, oh, this is such a third world country, nah. And then you
Right.
were like,
Right.
what? It's not a third world country, it's a first world country.
Well, see, I mean, if this past 36 hours has really shook my head in regards to this whole thing. People are commenting, and their comments are starting to get to me, not in a bad way, okay, but it's really questioning my thoughts in regards to the Philippines being a third world country or not. Because
It's
my
making you
stance
think.
was your stance. Can you stop fiddling around for your charger?
I need the
Seriously.
charger. Don't pay attention.
How can I
look
not paying attention when I'm looking at you?
I'm
I'm looking
hearing you.
right at you fiddling.
I'm wearing a headset. Don't like visually get yourself distracted. Oh, I
So
know where it is. Sorry.
this whole stance in regards to the Philippines being a third world country, you've always been kind of in the side of yes, it is a third world country. I, on the other hand, have always stated or looked at it as it's not a third world country, it's a developing country because I still believe that it's a developing country. Now, people are commenting left and right. So, first you
Let's.
said and you were saying something in regards
I think we
research and
should.
what defines it as a third world country. Do you have something?
Yeah, I think we should read out those comments too. Get to those people's comments. Like I could,
Absolutely.
I could feel the frustration and the passion in some of the people's comments. Really,
I know. Tell me about it.
my laptop's booting up. So, before I find it, I just remember, um, uh, I was trying to like read it really fast, but basically, uh, first world countries, well, aside from the GDP and that kind of thing, there's like a nice little technical description of it that I googled yesterday.
Hmm.
But no, I'm trying to squirm my way out of this definition. No, I don't know how to. I don't know how to say it.
Okay.
But
Go
go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No,
So
no, no. Please.
the Philippines being categorized as a third world country. Okay. This
Mm,
basically started during the I think it was the during the
yeah.
World War
Okay.
Two. Okay.
Post-war
The post
definition. Yeah.
correct. It was categorized as third world for being neutral in regards to the whole war.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Now,
Mm-mm.
people are also saying that it's also because of the infrastructure and whatnot of the Philippines. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, there's so much corruption, poverty, um, how the Filipinos are living with what they make on a daily basis, yada yada yada." I guess it's in regards to or in relation to like the U.S. as well. But
Mm-hmm.
what really sets the Philippines aside as it being a third world country? There's so many other countries in the Asia as well that are not as developed as the Philippines. As far as I know, being a third world country, yes, in relation to the war, it's okay. It's defined that way for its neutrality, but I also thought that it would have something to do with the infrastructure of the country itself, the economy. You
Right.
know,
Well, you're basing your definition from your probably from your experience of seeing BGC Makati. Let me read to you what Investopedia has to say about this
Investopedia.
website instead
Ah,
of Wikipedia. But
got it.
first world nations are those described as highly developed, industrialized, technologically advanced, educated, and wealthy. I think that's the bottom line. If people are educated and wealthy,
And wealthy.
I mean, I guess it contrasts to being it. I mean, it leads to being happy that people are actually making money. In contrast to developing or second world, less developed countries or third world countries, the first world is seen to enjoy many benefits such as relatively high quality of life and prosperity. First thing that comes to mind is not even
Okay.
U.S. You know what comes to mind?
What's that?
Singapore.
S-
Singapore.
Yeah, Singapore is like one of the youngest countries out there in Asia.
like 50 years old. And then the one that caught my attention, this is going to throw us in the loop. Hong Kong, I thought was a first world country, but
Hold on, hold on. Singapore and Hong Kong are considered third world countries?
no. Singapore is first world. Hong
Okay.
Kong is not considered a first world country, according to this Quora article that I came across. The term first world originally referred to countries aligned with the United States and NATO during the Cold War.
Correct.
But
So,
I'm just surprised that Hong Kong is not part of it. I thought it would
Hong
be.
Kong is considered a third world country.
Well, developing probably. But in the
Okay,
back
so-
of my mind, all this time I thought it was first world. And then when I went to Singapore, okay, this is a first world country in Asia. I've never been to Japan though, so I can't say anything about that. But, assuming that this laptop is probably put together in Japan or something like that, it's probably first world.
Right. See, that's where it kind of bothers me as well. The infrastructure of the Philippines and the economy is so much better than some other countries out there, like Thailand or Vietnam, for example. Okay.
Wait, is there even an argument going on here? Is there something that we're trying to clarify or that we're not sure of? Where are we going with this?
I think I'm trying to find justification for my beliefs that the Philippines is a developing country. I'm not saying that the Philippines is a
Yeah.
first world country. Obviously, it's
Right.
not, but it's
Right.
definitely a developing country.
Right.
If I'm going to categorize a country, first world, obviously, like the U.S. or the U.K., but
Right.
Philippines is nowhere close to that.
I don't think there's any argument about that. I don't think I even disagree with you. Maybe the question is, what are the people saying on the comments? Maybe that's where we should go.
Okay,
Like,
so
why are people so passionate about, like, why is this video, this short that you put together, why is this one gaining so much audience sort of reaction or engagement?
Well, they're definitely looking at it's a mixed emotion from the audience here. There's half of them are saying that yes, it is, but it's a developing country. It's half of them are just bashing on it, or there's some that's actually bashing on us, thinking that we don't know what we're talking about the Philippines.
Because we don't.
I wouldn't say that we don't.
No. I mean, I'm only speaking of my experience. How could they be bashing us? What do you mean? What are they saying?
Well, there was once I can't remember who it was. The one guy that said that we're the ones who's clueless because it is a third world country and based on poverty, corruption, and whatnot. First of all, you can't tell me a country would be a third world country because of corruption and poverty. Every other country out there deals with corruption and poverty. Okay. If you're going to tell me the US is not corrupt or there's no poverty here, you're insane. There's no way that you can say that because there's just so many homeless people as well. And there's so much poverty here in the US.
But like I said, I'd rather be homeless in the US than homeless in the Philippines.
I still don't. At least they're stateside, right? I don't understand it.
Just to give you an idea, there if once you're homeless here, I feel like, you're kind of. I mean, there's no caste system, but it's going to be difficult to move up. If you're homeless in the U.S., if you just figure yourself out, get your shit together, get your act together,
right?
There's a bigger chance of you to be able to crawl your way out of there.
Yeah. So
that's mental issues and all the other things considered.
Yeah. So this top comment right here is the newest comment, basically, or it's the most recent one. This guy just says it's a shithole country. That's why everyone leaves. Yeah, he's talking about the Philippines.
Yeah.
I'd like to know how you came about that. Have you been to the Philippines? Have you met the people? Have you visited the entire country? Have you had the food? I mean, I'm Filipino. Okay, if in regards to the food, though, yeah, I love Filipino food. But if you're going to give me an option between Filipino and Italian food, I'm gonna go Italian food. I love Italian food, but
Jay, you do realize that you've been living in the US longer than you've been living in the Philippines, right?
I understand that. Here is why I have every right to speak in regards to this, like I have been. When I was living in the Philippines, it was the shit show as a shit show. Basically, it was horrible. I have to admit, I had a horrible experience. But as I grew older and have been able to travel back here and there, my experiences and my point of view towards all of this has changed. You know, just because I had a bad experience doesn't mean that everybody's going to have a bad experience.
What does NIC mean?
I was about to ask that as well. No idea. The Philippines is an NIC. What's an NIC? You know what I
Let's
mean?
Google it.
Yeah, I'm doing that right now. Oh, it's a newly industrialized country. Well, yeah,
Uh,
it's a young country, just like South Korea, Singapore, Taiwan, etc., etc.
I love this other comment. Yeah, I'd say so. Might change my mind about it if they just fix the traffic.
Exactly, exactly. But majority of um the comments here are really saying that it's still considered a third world country.
Let me be the one to read this out.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt, but it just caught my attention.
Yeah.
Someone said, I hate to break it to you, but fairly consistently, in countries where women are leaving to go in other countries and many foreigners, it's basically always because it's a shit being a woman in their home country. Like example, I have a bunch of friends. This is what I was saying last time. Like most of my female friends
Yeah, but
have
they're not
left.
leaving. They're not leaving the country because of how they're being treated in that country.
Yeah, they're leaving because they have foreign husbands.
Completely different aspect.
All of the Danish men I've met have said Denmark is the best country in the world. They can't wait to go back. They miss
Right.
their home. Denmark is the best. All of
Okay.
the Danish, all of the Danish females. Do you mind clicking on that one so we could read more? Oh, it's long.
Yeah.
All of the all of the Danish women I've met have said Denmark is a dump. Horrible living there. They get treated like servants and they couldn't leave soon enough.
And having moved out of Denmark, go read it.
I
Read
don't
it.
know if and having moved out of Denmark, we're so happy to find that men in the country they moved no?
They
They
moved
find
to
that
actually treat them like people.
when they move to another country. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's like that in the Philippines, but if what you're saying about women leaving and marrying foreigners
And
and
mass.
mass is true, it's because y'all treat women like shit and they're going somewhere where they can have a better chance at being treated like human beings.
Okay.
Hmm.
So this is a comment in regards to a different different
Yeah,
short. It's
apples
regarding
and oranges.
Filipino women marrying foreigners, basically. Can we address that one too, real quick?
I think they're leaving for a chance of a better life.
That's exactly what it is. They're not
Not
leaving because they're being treated horribly.
right.
You said it
Right.
yourself. They're leaving because it's an opportunity for a better life.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
I think we were talking about this because OFWs, sort of came into the mix also. And then I'd
Correct.
probably go back into saying that like people wouldn't leave if they didn't have to.
Correct. Absolutely. But here's the caveat to that, though. If Philippines is well, it's not a caveat to that. I apologize. Going back to it being a third world country, if the Philippines is such a third world country, why is it that so many more people are moving there? Not just Filipinos. We're talking about Europeans, American expats, and so forth and so forth.
Because they like the culture. It's relaxed. It's not so stressful. And they're
Even
giving
though
it a
it's
chance.
so is it? It is a third world country.
No, because they're giving it a chance for development. They know that we're just going through birth pains, and we are probably like the past
Right.
50 years.
That's
We just never really learned, haven't really learned to pick right or better leaders or whatever. But I would say it's because of the culture. They move here because it's less stressful. I mean, yeah,
mm,
there's corruption, yes, there's red tape and bureaucracy and all that,
mm-hmm,
but
mm-hmm.
overall, I mean, legalities and all that nonsense aside, all those technicalities aside, people are pretty chill.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
With
Yeah.
I mean, like school shootings aren't like happening every other month.
Right, right. So there's actually another comment here where
Yeah, those
Philippines is a
comments are interesting.
third world country. The definition of first, second, and third world countries are a political holdover from the Cold War. First was
Mm.
America, NATO, and allied nations. Second was the Warsaw Pact and allied nations, and the third world was everyone else. So okay. But getting beyond that, Philippines has some of the most amazing food, incredibly welcoming people, and incredible potential.
Oh,
I
I
love
love
it
that
there.
word.
Yeah,
I think that's what it's all about. That's why people move here, to answer your
yeah,
question,
yeah,
because of the potential. We have so much potential.
yeah,
Matter of fact, you remember the time there was a peso dollar. We actually had that potential. We
yeah,
were already there,
yeah.
except we kind of lost it, lost it, lost it, lost it, lost it.
Well, that falls back to what you said earlier about poor decision making in regards to leaders.
Mm.
You know, um, but it says here, I love it there. Visit as often as I can. Oh, that's cool. Unfortunately, it also has corruption and poverty, but despite this, people stay happy. Okay. I think people need to lay off the idea in regards to poverty and corruption. Okay. Every country has that one way or the other. If you're thinking that it's only there or any other Asian country, open your eyes. Pardon the pun, because you're Asian.
I think it's kind of. I mean, if you're thinking of moving to anywhere in Asia, I think it's just like try on. It's like trying on pants. Some people like corduroy pants. Some people like khaki pants. Just
Mm,
see
mm.
which one ever fits with you. If you like the Japanese culture, if you like Thai, if you like Vietnamese, it's all Asian.
Right.
No, 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 nothing. There's no argument about that. I think. I think here maybe what we're really sort of arguing about or talking about here is what are we arguing about and what are we talking about with the Philippines?
It's
If
just the
what category we're supposed to be in?
yeah. Up to what point is it supposed to be a third world country? With the amount of improvement the country has made, is it still labeled as a
Uh,
third world country?
I would say, well, again, based on my experience, infrastructure wise, it's getting there as a first world country. But if you base it off of are people making money? Are people actually happy?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you work at a fast food restaurant, do you actually have a chance of getting, being able to put food on your family's table?
Right.
That alone I think speaks for itself. I mean, if you can work in a basic company or basic job,
Mm.
do I need to work in a call center? Do I need to be in like corporate world just to be able to make money?
Is it enough
And
to?
if
Are you saying that is it the basic job? Is it enough to sustain a living?
right, right. I mean, if I clean somebody's toilet, am I actually going to be? Oh, we talked about Mang Tataho a while ago.
Mm.
He if he's able to send his kids to school, yes, you can do that, but not everybody.
Well,
That's the
because it
thing.
takes
Like
work. That's the thing.
that's why it's such a big no, no, no. But that's why it's such a big accomplishment to be able to take your kids to school. Kung mantataho ka because you're working in that kind of a small business or small kind of job.
Right.
It
Right.
shouldn't be such a big like wow you were able to take your kids to school like in a first world country you'll be able to say of course I was able to take my kids to school even if I'm just selling fish balls and taho on the
No,
side.
no, you can't even say that here in the U.S. If you work at Burger King, yeah, you probably can, but your odds are slim to none. You know, I mean, I
Just gives you an idea
understand.
of how naive I am about it. Also,
I understand the economy is not great in the Philippines, but is it great here? No. If you're making minimum wage here, you're starving. There's
it's not.
people in the West Coast that make over $100,000 that are homeless.
I don't think we're really comparing the U.S. versus the Philippines. It's
No,
like
we're not. I think it's
it,
an example.
I think it's more about, are you able to survive there? Yes or no. Are you able to survive here? Yes or no. I don't.
Mm, mm, mm.
But it's not like, is it better there? So I should just go there, and then should you come here? Parang it's not really that kind of an argument.
Right, right, right. I don't know. I mean, I'm still. I've always put my stance that the Philippines is a developing country.
Yeah,
But after seeing a number of these comments, yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of questioning it myself,
I
to
think
be
I
honest with
think
you.
nobody's arguing with you about it being a developing country or not. But I think what people are frustrated about, like especially the ones that are negative about the Philippines,
Hmm.
is somewhere there. And I probably only speak for myself here. Can't assume, but I'm only thinking that people are probably upset about anyone saying that the Philippines is a developing or first world country kind of thing, because that's what it looks like in front. But if you actually live here, we all know it's not. But I'm not.
What
No,
do you mean? It's not. It's not what? It's
it's
not a
not.
developing country.
It's not what it. No, not. I wouldn't go that far. It is. I think technically it's developing. It's developing on paper, but like out on the streets,
Hmm.
where like people's actual experience on the street, just crossing the road, like literally crossing the road. Like, how does that actually feel?
Yeah. Well, that's different though. I don't think you can relate it to or equate it to that because it's just like living in Hong Kong as well, or China for that matter, or
Like it.
Vietnam.
Like it
You
looks
know.
awesome, but for real, it's not.
Yeah, I guess so because it's like everybody's got their struggles and the way the infrastructure and economy is. It's not ideal. It's not as organized as other countries like Europe or here. You know.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, I am starting to question my train of thought in regards to it being a developing country. I am, to be honest with you. I'm split now. Why?
And,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
and you got to be careful though. If you're going, I was about to say that you should, give it 2, 3, 6 months living here and then say something about it.
Mm,
I was just editing my thoughts now. Parang yeah, come over, but you got to be careful where you're going to be. Also, if you're in the province, that's a totally different experience.
right. Right.
Versus if you're like in the city, like Cebu, Davao, or Manila, for that matter.
Now,
And don't
is
be
the f-
taking Uber or Grab all the time. You got to be like on the streets, like with your, whether it's a private car or you're going to be commuting, um, you know, with public transportation.
mhm.
But if you're like, I think if you're closed up in your own like little cocoon, you're not really going to get the full experience.
Why are people commenting on the idea of Philippine food in this discussion here? It's pissing me off. Like this guy
I
right
think
here.
I think they're equating good food to first world, or good food to like good
Right.
culture or a
But
good experience.
this comment right here, the food is horrific. Dude, what
That
kind of
hits you.
Filipino food have you had? You know what I mean? Have you had Chinese? I don't know who this guy is, but Neil something, Neil Armstrong 6082. Have you had
My
Chinese food?
I have a friend. The first time that he tried adobo, sinigang, like that,
Yeah.
he'd always try. And this is a Western guy. He'd always try it like without rice. So of course it's bitter. Of course it's mapait. Of course you're gonna have a difficult time eating it because you're not eating it with rice. He's like eating it raw or bare.
Well, no, because you should try food without rice is not exactly the meal itself. Is a side item, really.
It's the opposite for me. It's like rice with a little bit of ulam.
No. No, you can't you can't say that. The entree is the main dish. The rice is the side item.
Wala eh. Ganun eh.
And then this guy right here, this Filipino guy, Rafael, he says, uh, Filipino ako pero sa akin hindi masarap ang Filipino food compared to Chinese, Vietnamese, Japanese, and Thai. Wala nang kwenta ang mahal pa. Come on, dude. Filipino food is so cheap. Well, I guess he's from there, so it does get expensive, I guess.
I don't want to, I thought I was gung ho about doing this podcast, not because I want to hate on the Philippines and like talk crap about it because of my experience here. I actually wanted to get on it because I wanted to start to be able to experience it or to appreciate it more than I already do. You know what I mean? I mean, yes, there's so many things to hate about it. Yes, there's so many things to complain about. But as a Filipino, I think I owe it to myself also to think, yeah, everything sucks, but what do we have that's good going on? And I think that's what we need to focus
But
on and talk about.
it's always harder that way if you actually live there. Because you don't have
Yeah.
the basic appreciation of what you have.
On the flip side of that, that's where the frustration is also from anyone that would comment about what I'm saying negative about the Philippines, let's say towards you. That's why it's
Mm.
frustrating because you're wearing like these rose colored glasses from like afar with your binoculars and you're like, oh wow, it's so nice in the Philippines.
No.
It's a developing country. You should
No.
be so excited to be living in the Philippines because it's a developing country.
I understand what you're saying. I am an outsider looking in. Yes, I get that. But I've actually experienced life in the Philippines. Granted, I was younger
Yeah.
and it was horrible.
For
I'm
2
still
seconds.
optimistic. You know?
You lived in the Philippines for 2 seconds compared to like, you know,
I guess it's
20
because I don't live the everyday life over there. That's why.
yeah, and when you come here, you're bakasyonista. Oh, balikbayan
Yeah,
for
I
2
guess.
minutes. It's like, oh,
I
sarap
guess.
naman buhay dito sa Pilipinas. Pero bukas, uuwi na ako sa States.
First of all,
Mm.
going back to how some of these people are commenting about Filipino food, whoever brought out the idea of introducing balot as the first Filipino dish to somebody, screw that person. Okay. That person needs to be shot. Okay. Because of course people are gonna equate to that. It's for those of you who don't know balot, it's a duck egg basically with a duck inside that's raw that you're like
No, it's not raw. It's actually baked.
even worse. Okay.
Which reminds
It's
me, I want to go to
steamed.
Thailand just to try the crickets. Now, listen, come here. When you land, give me your passport. I'll hold on to it indefinitely and
Oh,
make it a
Jesus
one-way
Christ.
ticket to the Philippines. And let's see how you feel. But the fact that you have your passport and you got your round trip ticket. Oh, we're going back in like 1 month. You have that like in the back of your mind. You're not stuck here.
I don't know. I mean,
It's going to be
I
totally
feel
different
like
experience.
I feel like I'm gonna have a different experience no matter what. One, I already know how it is from back then, and then two, if I go there and, for example, buy a one-way ticket, it's not like I'm gonna starve because I do have a knowledge and train of thought on what I could build to live off business-wise. Do you see what I'm saying? The opportunity is immense over there. It's a lot.
But I think that's why foreigner vloggers that are living here in the Philippines, like Commander Daot and Colas, and those guys that are living here, and a whole handful actually of people deciding to live here. And funny, a lot of them also have decided to try to live. This is after they've lived in Bali, Indonesia, Vietnam,
Correct.
or all the
Correct.
other countries, and then they ended up landing
Hong
here.
Kong, Singapore, yeah.
I think it's interesting to a lot of Filipinos also follow these guys. I mean, aside from curiosity, foreigners thinking what it's going to be like living in the Philippines. But I think it opens our eyes to realizing like, oh, they see it this way. So we could see it this way also. Parang, syempre, it's, hard to see the forest from the trees, in a sense that if you're Filipino, you live in the Philippines, it's hard to see it from somebody else's perspective. And
Yeah.
then that's why we appreciate their vlogs so much, because they have a different take or a different angle from the same experience that we're all living in here.
And they're having a more open point of view.
Yeah, because they've experienced like different countries also, so it's more parang credible with the stuff
You
that
know
they
what?
say.
No, I have been splitting my thoughts in regards to the Philippines being a third world country. No, I don't believe that. I will stick to my guns that it is a developing country. It's a country that has generated more and more opportunities to its people and to others than other countries out there.
It
Okay.
is. It's a developing country.
Right.
Nobody's taking that away from you.
Right. Well,
But
there's a lot of people that's taking it away from me to be
it
based on
still
their
feels
comments and whatnot. You
it
know.
still feels a lot third world.
Yeah. I see what you're saying though. I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Again, I want to emphasize that though, how it feels and what it actually is, let's say on paper, on or we might not be able to see where it's going.
That's a
It's
good.
it's like annoying. We're people that are saying that it's a developing country. These are people that are sitting like at first class or like on the pilot's seat. But we're
Right.
here sitting in economy. We don't have no idea what's going on in front.
I think you just nailed it. You nailed it on the head right there, though, with your last statement that it's different based on what you see and how you feel.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
feels like I'm sitting in economy class, and the pilot says, you should wear your seat belts because we're going to be coming across some turbulence. Like, what
Mm,
turbulence? I don't see
right.
no, like
Right.
you
Right.
would, like, yeah, he would know because he can see the clouds in front, but we don't. We're just like, there's no turbulence. I don't feel any turbulence around here. We're not like, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'll tell you this much though. Fine. It may be defined as a third world country, but the Philippines, it's one of those countries that, believe me, as much as you want to hate it, you will fall in love with it. But
I think we just haven't discovered our power or our strength, or we're not making the most of our strengths. We're always like
that's what that
looking
is.
we're
That's what that
always
is.
looking outside, or what does this other country have, or what does that other country have that we don't
Mhm.
have.
It's the identity. The identity. You're
We're
still trying to
always
find the identity.
it's always greener on the other side, pare. So we can't grow our garden because we keep looking at somebody else's garden across the street.
Right. That makes sense. So yeah, again, like I said, am I still split on this? No. I honestly wholeheartedly believe that it's more than a third world country. It's definitely a developing country, and it's rapidly growing. Rapidly.
So one-way ticket, not round trip, one-way ticket, and give me your passport when you get
Sur-
here.
surrender my blue passport.
And you have no idea when you're gonna get it back, if at all. And we'll see how you feel about that.
You never know. You know, it's all personal experience.
I'll hide
Anyway.
it under a coconut tree somewhere.
Right. So, that took up the entire show, and we again completely did not get to talk about the other topics.
Which one?
The Filipino Christmas party that I wanted to talk about.
Oh,
You know,
anything
whole-
strange happen? Give me a teaser.
no, it's just it was fun. It was definitely fun. The company was very, very fun. You know how in a Filipino party the guys, I don't know if it's every party, but in Filipino parties, the guys tend to be together, and then women are all together,
Mm.
and that's exactly
Are-
what happened.
Are you talking about an adult part, like
Yes,
mommies
I mean,
and daddies,
yes,
or are you
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about a soiree, like
That's
high
the kind of
school
parties
soiree?
that I go to now. I don't go to a party anymore where people get wasted, and although these women they drink a lot. You
Oh,
know.
what about it? Why was it? It's fun because you were
it
catching
was
up with the
fun.
boys.
It was actually very fun and interesting because you learn about how different Filipino relationships evolve as soon as they get here in the country. That's why I wanted to talk about it. We don't have the time to. We don't have to talk about that now.
Interesting.
But that's a teaser that we're gonna discuss on the next episode. How
Interesting.
in a Filipino gathering you tend to learn the different um, evolution of Filipino relationships in different countries.
You know what that
Either
reminds me
a
of?
Filipino or a Filipina going with a different culture type of thing.
You remember Michael Crichton, the one that wrote Jurassic
Of
Park?
course. Yeah.
So he says, I don't really think about like the story, like outline ahead of time. He says, I just think about all these interesting characters and then like put them all together and put them like in like a like little jar,
Mm.
Jurassic Park, and see how they react.
Mm.
So parang I'm just like summarizing maybe what you're saying or the way that I'm thinking about what you're saying. You got all these interesting Filipinos, put them all together, US, and see how they'd react when it comes to relationships.
Right. Right. Well, that's basically what that is, and I want to talk about that, go a little bit in depth on it in the next episode. Actually, maybe not the next episode because the next episode is Christmas Eve, the 24th, which will be 7 a.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Philippine time. 24th,
Right. Is that Sunday?
Sunday.
Nice.
Merry Christmas to you.
Namas ko po.
Sha.
Namas ko po.
Okay, I think we are done for the day. Close us out.
Good stuff. Take care, Care Bear.
Take care, Care Bear.
How do we close it out? What do you mean? This has been The Flip Side. Thanks for hanging out with us. His name is Jason. My name is Noel, and we'll catch you on the next episode of
The Flip Side. What was that? I just heard something in the background.
Tin listening in the background.
Oh, she's there already? She snuck in. Good morning.
You
Good
know,
morning.
legs,
Wow,
legs,
legs, oh. Nakita ko legs. Wow. Wow,
Nakakasilaw.
you must work out.
Come on,
Anyway.
where's that extra?
We are
Play it.
all done. Thank you very much for joining us again. The 24th of December is the next episode. Check us out at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8 p.m. Philippine time. Again, this is The Flip Side with Jay Noel. My name is Jay.
Name's Noel.
We'll catch you guys later.
On the flip side.
What? Two guys from two worlds. This is The Flip Side. New episodes uploaded on YouTube every Wednesdays and Saturdays. Now,